Morning everyone, Bruce and I, here he is, here at Roslin Glen, the car park, which is the site of the old carpet factory. And we're going to go on our walk today, exploring Roslin Glen, which is the largest intact woodland in Midlothian. Behind me is Roslin Castle. Bruce and I are off on our adventures again, and we'll just have a wee chat about things as we go along. It's still quiet this morning. We're still in lockdown, so there shouldn't be many folk around. But quite spectacular views over the ramparts here.
No certain record exists, but it's likely the Sinclairs came over with William the Conqueror from a place called St Clair in Normandy, and in 1280 they were granted the barony of Roslin and eventually became Earls of Caithness.
So as well as the main entrance to the castle over the drawbridge, there was another sneaky wee one for the guys living in the castle to come and go through. If we come through here, we'll see where it leads to. Come on, Bruce. We're looking up at Lantern Tower, the oldest part of the castle that remains severely damaged, obviously, after Cromwell's attack, or rather Cromwell's army's attack under General Monk. But this was the tower, the French influence. The guys here, the Sinclairs, had been over to France and had a look at what was going on and came back with a few ideas about how to build their castle, which they pinched from the French. So they began building this castle shortly after the Battle of Roslin, which took place in 1303. The English had come up under the orders of Edward I to quell any Scots rebellion that might be taking place. John Comyn, who was in charge of the Scottish contingent, they marched overnight from Biggar, 16-mile march, and got to near here where the battle took place, and surprised the English, who had apparently split into three groupings, and the Scots knocked them off one after the other. So shortly after that, it was decided that they would site their castle here where it is today. The first mishap took place, as far as the castle was concerned, was when it was set alight by accident. I think 1477, a maid looking for a wee dog which had crawled under a bed was a bit careless with her candle, and caught fire. The bedroom caught fire and spread very quickly to the rest of the castle. So it had to be evacuated and then repaired afterwards. So that was its first mishap. And then in 1545, during the rough wooing under Henry VIII, the English came up and laid siege to any number of abbeys and castles, and this was one of them. It was badly damaged, and again I think it probably took about 8 years before they were able to make it good again.
That's Harley.
Is this Harley? This is Bruce meeting Harley.
Oh, hello, Bruce.
He's a big softie.
That a bit Irish hound in there.
Well, he's an Airedale. We've had Airedales for quite a number of years now, so we're just going to take a walk along the glen.
Beauty.
Lovely.
Oh, he's a big teddy. I know the sign says the river pass closed, but Bruce and I are going to take a wander anyways. There's some beautiful spots by the river just round the corner. I'll let you have a look at them.
Sir Walter Scott, who was involved in promoting Scotland in all sorts of ways, encouraged William Turner to come up and paint Roslin Castle, which he did in 1818.
Come back, Bruce. Too much temptation with that ball. I'm underneath the very impressive arch, which was created by hewing out the rock so that there was a gap and at the top they would put up a drawbridge to keep everybody safe.
The building work continued through the ages, right up until really the end of the Scottish Renaissance. In fact, you can see an inscription above the door, 1622 SWS. That was Sir William St Clair. And it wasn't long after that that Cromwell's troops arrived on the scene at 1650 and besieged the castle with the cannon and caused much of the damage that we see today.
Let's get through this mud. You coming? Bruce and I are perched on a ledge overlooking the gorge. It's fantastic. You'd think you'd been transported to the Rockies. Absolutely vast gorge down there. Carved in the last ice age, where the ice receded from the southern uplands and moved northwards out of Dumfriesshire. And this is one of the main channels it took as the meltwaters flowed out through towards what is now the Forth. Just immense, just absolutely immense, the forces involved. It's a real privilege to be sitting here with my Doug. Here is he there? Yep. Well, that was entertaining. So just stopping for a breather just now. I'm going to show you a writer's retreat, unlike any other. A place called Horthenden Castle. Famous writers that have been there and worked from there: Ian Rankin, Muriel Gray. The original castle was built by the Abernethys, and through time that went to the Drummonds. Ended up in the Heinz baked bean family, but they've been and gone. No. Well, we've almost completed the section of path that goes alongside the North Esk. We'll be cutting over and making our way towards Bilston. Anyway, it's a lovely evening. Here we are. Boy Wonder is busy with his stick, aren't you, Bruce? Busy with your stick. We're now down at a place called Heughan Wood, named after the final episode where in 1303 the English had been attacked down here by the Scots. Nobody knows for sure what happened, but it seems likely that the remainder of that expeditionary force from England had found itself cornered down here. It's quite muddy and the banks are slippy at the sides here, and the river bends sharply round, as you can see. So that's where the Scots ended up finishing them off. Named Heughan Wood after the Scots troops had hewn down the English soldiers. Hi there, guys. He loves meeting other dogs, making pals. He enjoys a chase. And that's a whippet, yeah? Yeah. By Jove, oh, look at them go. Stay with me.
During the Wars of Independence, the St Clairs went on to fight with Robert the Bruce at Bannockburn and were rewarded with lands over the Pentland Hills as a result of that. And there's a well-known story of the Bruce out hunting one day and being unable to chased down a white stag with his hounds, and the Sinclair at the time rather rashly bet his head on the fact that his hounds could do better than the king's. So the story goes that the hounds managed to chase the deer to a point where it could be dispatched by Sinclair, and in gratitude for having his head still on his shoulders, he built a chapel, St Catherine's in the Hopes, at a point where the stag had been killed, and unfortunately for us it's now underwater, the Built Glencorse reservoir, so somewhere under there lies the church.